Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics. Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Question Period Canada. We started this channel about Canadian federal politics a number of months ago. Didn't have a clue any side on the side of the people at the grocery store lineup. That was it. And then we started watching Question Period Canada live. We started there making other videos, learning all about this stuff. Now we have a network. People send me videos. I've got so much content that I want to make. Now I'm trying to make a sort of general intro to all these wacky videos that are happening in Canada. Like, my oh my guys, we've got to take a closer look. Let's take a peek at this one. They never slow down, these Canadian politics. They don't stop. This one's wild.
Okay, I'm coming to you live from this back room here in the House of Commons. The chamber of the House of Commons is just on the other side. And I've got to tell you, something crazy is happening here. You need to share this video so that people who might not follow politics but care about democracy understand just how bad the situation here is in Ottawa and what needs to happen next. So, the Speaker of the House of Commons has been essentially found guilty of doing more partisan activity after a bunch of other errors. And I want to explain to you why this matters and what happens next. So the Speaker of the House of Commons, for those of you who aren't familiar, is supposed to be like a neutral arbiter of the rules. They're not supposed to be partisan. They're supposed to make sure that the House of Commons functions, the rules are followed in a neutral, nonpartisan way. And in order for Canadian democracy to happen, that's a super critical role, right? Well, you'll remember like back a few months ago, the last Speaker of the House of Commons had to resign over an issue of a Nazi being recognized in the House of Commons. So he was replaced with somebody named Greg Fergus. Greg Fergus was actually the parliamentary secretary to Justin Trudeau. So a very partisan person who is now in the role. So he was elected into this role with like super crazy partisanship. Now, he's done several things, including kicking the leader of the opposition Conservatives, PIERRE Poilievre, out of the House of Commons. And it gets worse today. So let me break it down for you on how we got to this point. So a few months ago, you'll remember that Greg Fergus recorded a video for a Liberal convention in his speaker's robes. That's super, when I say that, you understand how partisan that is, right? And he was actually found guilty of doing that. And then he said, oh, it was just a mistake. I mean, I didn't know, which I didn't buy. We thought he should resign over that. But nonetheless, the NDP, the Liberal coalition partners, they kept him in the role. They kept him in the role. I don't understand why the NDP would do that. Like, come on. No, they propped up the government there. Okay. So then you'll remember that afterwards, he went to Washington in his speaker's capacity and gave a speech reminiscing about how fun it was and wonderful it was to be a young Liberal. So he was talking about partisan activity at an international event in his role as a speaker after he did this thing, okay? Then he asked a former Liberal MP to write an op-ed about him. Okay, so like this guy clearly has a history of partisanship, and you'll remember that then he kicked PIERRE Poilievre out of the House of Commons a couple of weeks ago, which is kind of unprecedented. The speaker kicking the leader of an opposition party during question period out of the House of Commons. Now, today, and this is what I need you to share, after all of this, look at what happened. On the Liberal Party website, there is an advertisement for Greg Fergus. This is on the Liberal Party website. And let me read to you what the event details are, okay? Let me read this to you. When PIERRE Poilievre and the Conservatives proposed reckless policies that would risk our health, safety, and pocketbooks, the Liberal team is focused on making life blah, blah, blah. So this is a partisan advertisement. It talks about an event being held by the Speaker of the House of Commons as being part of the Liberal team, and it actually openly craps on the leader of the opposition party. How could anybody say that this guy is neutral and nonpartisan? Like, come on. Now, I have to give credit for once to the Bloc Québécois. They're out saying like, no. This guy has to go. He has to resign. He's clearly he's clearly partisan. But do you know, guess who is undecided on this? Take a wild guess. The NDP. Of course the NDP are. Is there any difference between the Liberals and the NDP? Of course not. And like, if the NDP were smart, right, which they're not, they would get rid of this guy. Like, it would help them politically. It would help democracy. Like, it would be like tactically the right thing to do. It would, above everything else, it would help Canadian democracy. Have some sort of semblance of doing something that resembles work, right? Like, you can't have a guy, this like, on top of everything else that he's done, including kicking the leader of the House of Commons, or of the opposition, out during question period. Then he lets an event, a partisan event, be advertised on the Liberal website where he's described as part of the Liberal team, and then he craps on the Conservatives. Like, come on. Like, he's got to resign. He has got to resign. Now you're asking, well, what are you guys doing about it? This morning, one of my Conservative colleagues raised something called a point of privilege in the House of Commons, essentially calling on the Speaker to resign. We are now waiting to see what the NDP are going to do with this. And it should be a no-brainer. Like, there are some things that transcend partisanship. In fact, the Liberal Party should be, the Liberals should be kicking him out if they cared about democracy, if they cared about the traditions of the House of Commons, right? They should be going, you know what? They should have some shame. This guy's got to go. It's like, this is 3 major strikes. He's out. He's got to go. But now we're waiting to see what the NDP are going to do, because if there is a motion in the House of Commons to vote to get him to resign, which there already has been, and the Liberals vote and the NDP voted to prop him up. If there is a motion, the NDP are going to need to, like, basically say he needs to go. So, like why? Like, if you're an NDP, like, please share this with somebody who votes NDP. Why would the NDP, if you're voting NDP and you oppose the Liberals, why are you perpetually propping up a Liberal partisan speaker? This is the level of craziness that I see in my job here every day. Why would the NDP, why would they keep him in place? Like, it blows my mind. This guy needs to go. The place where we're supposed to be debating laws, holding the government to account, is being presided over by somebody who has, how many strikes now? How many strikes, Greg? Like, what have you learned? Like, was this like a nice Trudeau language where maybe I learned something by this? Help me out by sharing this video, because like, this is what, I represent close to 120,000 Canadians, and my job is to go in there and be able to debate, hold the government to account, discuss ideas, and have that debate being presided over by somebody who is at least notionally neutral, right? Instead, I have somebody who is a blatant partisan. A blatant partisan. He needs to resign. He needs to be replaced. This is crazy. This should be a no-brainer. Everybody should agree with this. This is about what should be for the good of democracy. Absolutely insane. Help me by sharing this video so that people know what's happening. People need to understand this. This affects you, because if your MP and your representative can't have their voice heard, what does that mean for you? It means your voice isn't heard. And that's the whole thing with democracy. It's an illusion that only works if our voices are able to be heard. And right now, you've got a partisan in the chair who, like, how many strikes does it take? He's got to resign. Help me get the word out. Share this video. Working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.
So gang, that's another wild one right there. I'm not gonna try to tell you what to think about what you just saw. You're a Canadian, you can make up your own mind. But I do want you to come back and watch some more of the wild videos that we collect. We've got this network happening now. And also, if you're interested in a live chat in a fun stream, we watch the question periods daily, all of them. It's a great community. It's a fun chat. Come check us out. Like, subscribe, get notified, all that fun stuff. Comment. I love the comments. And especially just come back. I just want you to come back. Not going to try to sell you anything. Here we go. We're just learning about Canadian federal politics right here at Question Period Canada. We have a million questions, almost no answers, but we'll be showing you the videos, so like, subscribe, get notified, share, all those fun things. Check out one of the other videos. We've got a good thing going on here, liking and learning, and sharing with you. That's what we're doing right here. Question Period Canada. Catch you next video. It'll be wacky.